Welcome to your tutorial on Educreations. It is an app that is essentially a smartboard that would be used in a traditional classroom, but now you're able to use it on your iPad, and you're able to make recordings and send them out to students. So I'm going to take you through that today, how to make a recording, how to navigate the app, and how to get that information out. So first things first, all I've done is open the app, and you'll see we're seeing a little splash screen talking about the new tools. If you slide through the messages, they're going to give you a brief tutorial. It's the exact same thing I'm going to take you through, but this is just pictorial. And there you go. So when you're all done with this, you can hit done. So now we're ready to go. So this is what your canvas looks like. In here, the only kind of things you can do, you can write. I'm using a stylus, but you can use your finger or whatever, and you can change colors, so what color you're going to write with. So how I change colors is right here along the top. You see right now the defaults are black, blue, red, and green, so I could change to green just by tapping on it. Now my pen is green. The other options, if you see there's a little down arrow next to the green right now, if I click on it, I get other color choices. So what they're showing you here along the top is just the 4 you want to have access to most often. The other options up here are you can insert text. So if I want to do text, I can click on the T. Now I tap anywhere I want, and I'm able to actually type in if you wanted to type something in. Pictures, by clicking on the little picture icon. The way you get a picture into the system is your choice. You can take a camera picture with the iPad. You can have, if you have a photo saved on your iPad, you can bring it in. You can bring something in through Dropbox, which is my personal preference. So what I'm going to do right now is, you'll see I've already installed Dropbox on this tablet, so now it's just asking for permission to access it. So I'm going to say allow, and now I have access to everything that was on my Dropbox on this iPad. So what I'll do is bring in my little student work here, and you can see I have it. And while as long as I'm selected on the little hand tool that's on the top, I can move my picture around wherever I want. Once I go away and I select a color, now I can write all over this. Let's say I didn't want this stuff here anymore. I can now use an eraser, where once I select eraser, anything I touch will get erased. Not my pictures, just the ink. Or the little drop down gives you some other options where I can clear the whole page, or I can clear just the ink. If I clear the page, I lose my picture. So let's say maybe you didn't want that. That was an accident. Well, the arrow, this back arrow, will undo. Brings back everything I had. So now when I go back to my eraser, I want just the ink gone. There we go. So now I'm going to move my picture over here. And now another idea here that I use a lot when I'm creating lessons, I preset up my pages. So maybe what I would do is bring in an entire PowerPoint. Well, so my trick that I've used in the past is I have my entire PowerPoint saved as a JPEG, slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4. PowerPoint, you can very easily do that by just clicking Save As, and it automatically dumps it out this way, save as a JPEG. So therefore, on this first page, there's my first slide of my PowerPoint. Now, what I can do here now for the next slide, I might want that on the next page. So there's an arrow down in the bottom right hand corner. When I click on that, what it's going to do is give me a new page. So now I have 2 pages. You can see I'm on page 2 of 2. So I can go back to my Dropbox and put slide 2 in. Now, so on and so forth, I continue so on and so forth until I have my entire lesson set up and I'm ready to start recording. So now that I've done that, if I arrow back, you'll see all of my pages are now waiting for me to start working on them. You may have also noticed there's a couple more icons down here on the bottom. One looks like a little piece of paper with the corner folded down. I'll show you what that does. Let me make another page here, page 5. When I select that, it gives me backgrounds that I could write on. So if I was doing something where I wanted lined paper, now I have lined paper, or graph paper, or a coordinate grid with the axes. So they're all just different little templates that you can write on top of, and you don't need to do anything special. They write right on top of them. It's not like a picture that you can move around. It's built into the page now. And of course you can always go back to a blank page should you want. The next thing you can always do is, if you're on a page that has something on it, you can duplicate the page and ink, or just duplicate the page. So if you had been writing all over the page and you wanted to keep all your ink and then have a second copy of it, now, and if I do that, it'll duplicate the page and ink. Now I have 2 of those pages, one on page 4 and one on page 5. And if I'd written all of this, but I want a clean version of the problem, well, that's just duplicate the page. And now, if you look back, I still have my 2 copies with the ink, and I have 1 copy without. So I hope that gives you an idea of kind of the icons on the screen. So we've done everything. You've seen how what each of these icons do. I hope they're pretty intuitive. So again, you have your ink icons that change your color of ink. You have your hand icon that lets you move pictures around. So if you had a picture on the screen, you're able to slide and move it anywhere you want. You have your text icon that lets you click on the screen and type in any text you would like. There we go. All right, so you can type in. You have your back arrow to undo something you don't want. You have a forward arrow to bring back something that you undid. You have your eraser button, which works like a stylus, like a pen, where you scribble on screen and erase. Or you can clear the whole page by clicking on the down arrow. And then that brings us to the last thing across this top bar, the record button. And that's probably what everybody's waiting for. So how do you record? How do you make your lesson? Well, it's quite simple, actually. Once you have all your pictures set up, you hit record. And now the app is recording all audio and all video that's on the screen. So as you write, it will record, it literally records the video. So we can write whatever you want, any annotation, anything you do. If you realize you wanted to pause your video and change some, edit something, add another picture in, add another slide in, you can always hit the pause button. And then once you're ready to restart your recording, you can bring it right back. And that's essentially it. So I think you can now pretty much imagine how you use this app. So it's recording all of my notations, and now I am done. So I'm going to go to the top left-hand corner and hit done. And now it's giving me a couple options. It's saying I can either save my lesson or I can start over. So if you are unhappy with what you did, you can say start over, and it will keep all of your notation, all of your stuff you pre-did. It will get rid of all of your recordings, the recording part. Or if you're ready to save your lesson, you save your lesson. So now we have to give it a title. Remember, this title is what it will be across the top of the screen when a student sees it, so it's important to choose something wise. The description, as they said, is optional. Just it will show up on the search engine. If someone brings it up, it will make it easier for them to understand what's going on. Now, I have 2 options here because I'm not really logged in yet. Once I log in, you'll see a couple more options, but right now I have the option for private or public. I highly recommend making everything public. The reason why, when you make it public, you get the ability to embed the video. So now they're asking what subject area. So when you click on it, we can pick any subject area. For me, I would do math. The subject, now you can choose what kind of math. Again, for the search engine, we'll call this calculus. So now I say save. And here's where we actually now have to create an account. Or you can use your Facebook or Google to log in. I am going to show you how to create your free account and use that. It's very logical. When you're creating a free account, you could choose if you're a student or a teacher. We are teachers. You type in your name, your email. Now the email is going to be your login, so I personally would use work email or something we'll remember, and then you can pick any password you want. Now once you have all of your information typed in, you click register. It'll take a second just to make sure nothing silly is going on, and there we go. We have our lesson. It is created, and we are done with that portion of Educreations.